have begun the preparation for the speaking module and struggling how to develop the cue card and the follow-up round questions? What sort of word list should be in your sample answers? Worrying about how to sound very native? Then here are the phrases, idioms, and the suitable word list which appropriately fits the questions. Pause the video for a while. Take it as your practice or a mock paper. Study the questions, develop your own answers, and then see, is it very good? If not, here is the video which helps you. Go through the word list, the phrases and the idioms, rework on your answers, incorporate all the words, and there you go to the band of 9 speakers. Let's understand the question first. Before that, study the cue card properly. It says, describe a time when you missed or were late for an important meeting or event. You should say when it happened, what the meeting or event was, why you missed it, or why were you late, and how you felt about the experience. Very simple and very easy and very relatable story, isn't it? But still, why are we struggling to develop it for 2 good long minutes? And why are we not using the suitable vocabulary in it? So here we go. The word list for you students. When it happened. So probably it was on that particular day when, and you start your answer. Or maybe you say at that point in time, it happened something like this, and you continue your answer. All of a sudden is another phrase. In the nick of time is a good phrase along with an idiom, or you can say at the 11th hour. That means at the very last moment. For the question, what the meeting or event was, you can generally say that it was a seminar or a party, something like that. For the bullet point 3, why you missed it or were late. So the reasons can be you overslept, you missed the time. So for that you say you misjudged the time. Being in traffic is one of the most commonest reasons. So for that the suitable phrases got stuck in traffic. Sometimes we generally forget. So this expression can be, it slipped my mind. That means I just forgot. With this expression you sound very natural. You sound very native. So it is not I forgot. So you say it slipped my mind. Another good expression can be, you ran behind schedule. The preposition behind and ahead are very good words. So you ran behind schedule, that means you were quite late. The appointed time was something and you were quite late. So the expression is ran behind schedule. You can change the parts of speech or the verb form, or you can say I was running behind schedule. For the bullet point 4, how you felt about the experience. So you were sad. So you say I apologized profusely. Profusely is very much. Apologize is to say sorry. So I said them sorry, or I asked for forgiveness. Good expressions are apologized profusely. It was my responsibility that I was late. It was my mistake that I was late. It was I who was responsible for the delay. So the expression can be, I took full responsibility. I took full responsibility. Let's learn some more sentences. It was entirely my fault. Because the story is about an event that is already completed, so be careful about the small verbs. The expression is, it was entirely my fault. Another one can be, I didn't want to make a bad impression. It was a wake-up call for me. A wake-up call means a learning lesson. I learnt a lesson after this. So for that you say, it was a wake-up call for me. I learned the lesson the hard way, or I learned the lesson the hard way, which means I learned the lesson after a bad experience. I burnt my fingers and then I learned the lesson. Here are the words again. Since then, I have been more mindful of punctuality. Since then, so instead of saying afterwards, later, so you say from that period on, which is since then. Because this is the speaking module, try to see that you have contractions in your answer. I have been. I have been more mindful. More mindful is more cautious, more aware. I have been more mindful of punctuality. Going well, right? Here are the list of some verbs which you can use to answer the question, how did you feel about the experience? Obviously, when we are late, we are generally ashamed. We feel very shy. There is a level of embarrassment. For the words ashamed, embarrassed, the suitable vocabulary is mortified. In order to reach the venue or the meeting or the event on time, we are generally very anxious. Either go with the simple and suitable words or adjectives which are anxious, worried or upset, or go with a super strong word which is flustered. To remind you children, none of the vocabulary is out of your way to learn. It is that small interest that you have to hook yourself with. When you're putting all the efforts for the reading and writing, why to ignore the speaking module which is super easy? Why not take the advantage of this beautiful session, develop your vocabulary and present yourself as a band 9 speaker? Back to the words now. The adjectives are anxious, worried, upset. The perfect fitting word is flustered. We can also go with other simple words which are sorry and regretful. Regretful is feeling bad about something which has happened. After the event was completed, or maybe after the meeting was completed, you felt like, okay, everything is stabilized. So for that, the adjectives again are relieved, because your sense of embarrassment has vanished now. Someone has consoled you, so you feel relieved. Maybe you have learnt a lesson and you are not going to repeat it. You have learnt it the hard way and you are going to implement this in the next time. So you are relieved now. You can also say, I am thankful, I am calmed, or a very simple adjective, I am happy. All the words are very, very suitable, either the small one or the best one. But don't scare with speaking modules. Now, coming to the list of suitable idioms to that. Better late than never. That is, I attended it rather than ignoring it completely. I attended it rather than ignoring it completely. So the expression is better late than never. It is better to be late or to arrive late than not to arrive at all. A sentence usage is, I reached the seminar 20 minutes late, but I told myself better late than never and joined quietly. In the nick of time, another suitable native idiom. In the nick of time. What does this mean? At the last possible moment. At the last possible moment. I entered the interview room in the nick of time, before the panel started asking questions. At the 11th hour. At the very last minute. At the very last minute. After this, it is going to be stopped. So that event or that time is called as at the 11th hour. I realized at the 11th hour that I had written down the wrong meeting time against the clock, that is, rushing to finish before time runs out. I was driving against the clock because I didn't want to miss the presentation. Beat the clock. Finish something before the deadline. I tried to beat the clock, but the traffic delay made it impossible. A wake-up call. An experience that makes you realize you need to change. A wake-up call, a lesson to learn. Being late for that important meeting was a real wake-up call for me. Sit wholeheartedly in the class. Try to capture every word, and thereby you are learning it in a very easy way. There is nothing to struggle. Learned my lesson the hard way. Learned something through a difficult or embarrassing experience. I learned my lesson the hard way, and now I always leave home 50 minutes. I always leave home 15 minutes early. Slipped through my fingers. That is, you missed something. Slipped through my fingers. Lost track of time without realizing it. I was preparing my notes, and before I knew it, time slipped through my fingers. Cut it fine. Almost be late or arrive very close to the deadline. Cut it fine. That means at the boundary time or at the last minute or at the deadline, you make your arrival. I cut it fine and reached just 2 minutes before the event started. Miss the boat. That is, to miss an opportunity. Because I arrived late, I missed the boat and couldn't participate in the main discussion. Very nice. Follow-up round questions now. Are you a punctual person? Do you think it is important to be on time, and why? Why are some people often late for the meetings or appointments? Do you think punctuality is valued more in some countries than others? How can people improve their time management skills? Is being late always unacceptable, or are there situations where it is understandable? Now, the word list again for these questions. Don't struggle, study the vocabulary, rework on your answers, and there you go. Are you a punctual person? So the vocabulary list is punctual, which means on time, arrive a few minutes early, value time, well organized, stick to a schedule, time conscious, rarely late, or manage my time properly, or respect other people's time. So how do I make the answer? So when the question is asked, are you punctual? The answer can be, I am always well organized and I always stick to a schedule. Thereby, I am rarely late as I respect other people's time. What did we do? We have just taken few words and made it a good sentence. Your answer is complete. Isn't it easy? Now, the continuation of this. Do you think it is important to be on time, and why? It is very much important, isn't it? So why so? Because it shows our responsibility. And also it creates a good impression. It generates a good impression. It makes a good impression. It develops the trust, or it builds the trust. It gives way to someone to trust you. On the other hand, if it is a meeting, a formal meeting, or an event which is very formal or academic, then it shows your professionalism in it. And in a simple way, you can say it is a sign of respect. There is a benefit to your end also. What is it? It avoids unnecessary stress. When you are on time, you work properly. so it improves productivity. Everything goes very well organized. So what is the statement or sentence we say? It keeps everything organized. It strengthens relationships. When the trust is built, the following step is to strengthen the relationship. It shows or respects the discipline. It reflects the discipline you have. Very nice words. Question number 3 now. Why are some people often late for meetings or appointments? There are a number of reasons for that. And how do we put them in a proper answer with suitable vocabulary? So the correct fitting word is poor time management, lack of planning, heavy traffic, unexpected delays, something you didn't expect. Unexpected delays also make you late for an event. Underestimation of time, bad habit, generally, it's your bad habit. It's your nature of procrastination. Procrastination is intentionally delaying, being super lazy. You always work on the last minute rush. Last minute rush. The careless attitude. And the last expression is overconfident about timing. How to make an answer? Shuffle few words and make it into a sentence. Done. Question number 4. Do you think punctuality is valued more in some countries than others? There might be. Some people can ignore. Some are very, very particular. So how do you present it? You say, owing to the cultural differences, some may ignore, but some may be highly strict on it. Other expression is strict work culture, flexible attitude towards time. Some people are highly disciplined, so you call them highly disciplined society. Some generally maintain a professional environment always. There are some social rules and responsibilities to be on time. So in that case, the correct word is social norms. The fast-paced lifestyle helps in either being very flexible or being very rigid. The traditional mindset can be other reason. Respect for deadlines and work ethics are the last ones. Question number 5. How can people improve their management skills? Which management skills? Time management skills. So the words can be set clear priorities. The 3 words: set clear priorities. Create a daily schedule. Use reminders. Technology is always there. Apps are always there. Notes making strategy is there. So use reminders or set reminders. Plan well in advance. Don't work at the 11th hour. Or don't always try to cut it fine. See, just now we have learned the vocabulary and just now we are implementing it also. Avoid distractions. Whatever disturbances are coming at, try to avoid them. Follow a routine. Take tasks, break tasks into small steps. Work in bits and pieces. Stay focused. Manage the workload. Don't try to give up. Rather, learn the way to cut it fine and manage the workload. And most importantly, develop self-discipline. Is being late always unacceptable, or are there situations where it is understandable? If you want to give a neutral answer, then it can be. Depends on the situation. Unavoidable circumstances. Medical emergencies are something which are just understandable. One cannot be rude at such events. Sudden traffic jam, unexpected problems, natural disasters, genuine reasons. Inform in advance. So, what you have to do? Inform in advance, make a sincere apology, or show the consideration that yes, because of some unexpected reasons, you were late. Fine. Hope the class on vocabulary, phrases, and idioms helps you out to work on the questions. Happy learning.